Assalamualaikum and very good day back to all the lecturers. My name is Norhafiz SUDIN, student year 4 from BMFG FKP. Now, I would like to do the presentation on the FYP project. The title of my FYP project is Development of Application for Production Flow Analysis. For the first chapter is Introduction. The first is facility layout is the systematic arrangement of different department and functional arrangement of different department to achieve desired result. A facility layout with design to plan and effective workflow as to make equipment and workers more productive. In manufacturing industry, a good design of plan layout is needed to achieve an efficient production. An approach for the facility layout design are the procedural and algorithm approach. Many of the researchers use procedural approach because it's more simple and consider both quantity and qualitative data. The example of the existing software of computer-aided layout is Craft, Corelab, and ProPlanner. Next is the problem statement. The first problem statement is, in high-mix, low-volume manufacturing industry, facilities layout can influence the productivity of the production. The product of the is always changes and the volume produced is low. So, the data of the product varies and need to be analyzed efficiently in order for the layout not changes frequently. The current procedural approach of the facility layout for the design is done manually and needed a lot of time. And the application software for the layout existed is complex and expensive. Next slide is about the objective. The first objective is to study about the approach of the facility layout problem in the manufacturing industry. The second one is to develop a computer program of the material flow based on the product routing. The last one is to demonstrate the product flow routing visualized by the application. For the scope, we focus on the high-mix, low-volume environment and use the procedural approach to solve the facility layout problem. The next is the material flow of the product routing, and the last one is using the C# programming language with the Visual Studio 2019 to make the application. Okay, now I will explain about the literature review. The first literature review is about the approach of the facility layout planning. From Ojagi, Hadimi, Yusuf, Renani, and Hassan 2015, they mentioned that by begin with planning the layout is the best method to cut costs remarkably before construct the plant or office. The two approach is procedural approach and algorithm approach. The algorithm approach involves the quantitative data, while the procedural approach involves the qualitative and quantitative data. The second type is the type of facility layout in the manufacturing industry. According to Systematic Layout Planning, a study on semiconductor wafer fabrication facilities by Taho Yang 2015, they mentioned that commonly type of facility layout used are process, product, fixed position, and cellular layout. The type of facility layout used based on the product manufactured and the quantity of the company. Now, I will explain about the current software of the computer-aided layout. Many software have been developed for the facility layout planning. For the algorithm approach, such as ProPlanner, while for the procedural approach is the Craft program. And the last limitation of current procedural approach facility layout planning. The procedural approach include the SLP method, from to chart method, and closeness rating. The data of the product from the high-mix, low-volume manufacturing industry are varieties. This will take long duration to analyze the data for the layout planning. The complexity of the software also limit the current procedural approach while the price of the software is expensive. Now, I will explain about the methodology. The first methodology is the literature review. The literature review is correspond to the objective one, which is to study the common approach in the facility layout in manufacturing industry. From the study, we know that the type of layout used for the high, mid, slow volume industry is product layout. We also study about the current software used to overcome the facility layout planning and also the improvement made by the past researchers based on the real case study. We also know the limitation of the current facility layout planning method. And to overcome the objective 2, we develop a computer application and go to the programming code data input create from two chart to correspond for the objective 2. From the objective 3, we do the evaluation and demonstration of the computer application. We try to input of the data from the Excel file transfer to the application, and the data we use is from the case study involve the high, mid, slow volume environment, and then from there it will create the from to chart from the data input, and the last one visualize the product routing. For the result, the application, this is the user interface of the application, and when we click to the import file button, it will show to the window library, and from there we can select the Excel file from there, and this is the code. But I'm sorry to tell you that there was an error during the coding. The laptop has crashed and the coding has been gone, so I cannot show the whole code and the application that have been done. Lastly is for the conclusion and recommendation. For the conclusion, the project is aimed to developing an application as the solution to the production flow between the product and the machine use. And the analysis can be made using the chart and know that the higher number in the chart means that the higher movement between the machine. For the recommendation, the application can be used using the Windows software and can run higher data to give more correct result in the future, and also the application can be made more simple and affordable so that the user can use the application easily to save time and money.